The school board meeting will begin in 1 minute. Please take your seats. Again, the school board meeting will begin in 1 minute.
Good evening and welcome. The July 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Mirroring and modeling the way our students begin each day, I ask that we observe a moment of silence at this time. Please join me. Thank you. Dr. Campbell, would you please read the board commitment statement?
Good evening, Chair. Gladly. We are the Marion County School District leadership team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first. We will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience to please turn off their electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located in the lobby. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received to the board clerk no later than 5:40. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Good evening, Ms. Martinez-Young. Would you call roll, please?
Good evening, Madam Chair. Dr. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Lori Conrad, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3. Here. Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Dr. Sarah James, District 5.
Here.
Dr. Danielle Brewer, Interim Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez-Young. Dr. Brewer, good evening. Who's going to share our inspiration and lead the pledge for us this evening?
Thank you. We have Mr. Mark Ingram, our coordinator of K-12 academics, will come introduce our special guest, and I do see the special guest principal, Ms. Suzette Parker, is here in attendance as well.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, board chair and school board members. It is a privilege to be here tonight to recognize an exceptional student, Elias Havalona, for his participation in one of the most prestigious academic competitions in the country, the Scripps National Spelling Bee, this May. He's got the shirt for it. Held annually just outside Washington, D.C., the Scripps National Spelling Bee brings together hundreds of top young spellers from across the country. These students earn their place on the national stage by winning highly competitive local, county, and regional spelling bees. The competition is known not only for its difficulty, but for its emphasis on vocabulary, literacy, and academic excellence. It is broadcast nationally and watched by millions, making it a true showcase of scholastic achievement. Elias, an incoming 8th grader at Howard Middle School, is already distinguishing himself academically through advanced studies courses and as a member of the school choir. His journey to the national stage began with a win at the Howard Middle School Spelling Bee, followed by a strong second-place finish on this stage at the Marion County Spelling Bee, where he competed against Ava Mai of Liberty Middle School. He then advanced to the Region 2 Spelling Bee, where he earned his spot in the national competition by outperforming students from across the state. At the national level, Elias tied for 100th place, an impressive feat considering the caliber of competition. He successfully completed vocabulary challenge and confidently spelled the word podotheca, no small task in front of a national audience. He was ultimately eliminated in the written portion of round 3, but his performance was a testament to his hard work, intelligence, and composure under pressure. Please join me in congratulating Elias Havalona for his outstanding achievement. We are incredibly proud of him and look forward to seeing what he accomplishes next. And now to lead us in the pledge, Elias Havalona.
Will everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Elias, will you hold right there? We'd like to come grab a picture with you. Dr. Brewer, we also have some special recognitions this evening. Thus, the rowdy group that was here before we started our meeting.
Well, it's always fun to celebrate, and so we have quite a few recognitions this evening. Mr. Whitehouse will come to the podium and be able to share the recognitions.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, Chair Conrad, board members. We are very proud of the academic success that we saw this school year as we continue our progress. Not only did our district grade improve to a B, but the vast majority of our schools improved or maintained their school grade. Tonight, we'd like to recognize our schools that maintained an A grade or improved a full letter grade from the prior school year. Joining us tonight are the principals who led each school last year, representing the hard work and dedication of every employee who contributed to that success. So as I call their names, if you all would come forward to be recognized. We have Dr. N.H. Jones, Mr. Rob Hensel, principal, maintained their A grade. Eighth Street Elementary, Mr. Ryan Bennett, maintained their A grade. Ina A. Colon, one of our charters here tonight, Principal Vanessa Baxley, maintained their A grade. Madison Street Academy, Dr. John Curley maintained their A grade. And Ward Highlands Elementary, Ms. Teresa Buck maintained their A grade as well. Now for our schools that showed improvement. For Bellevue Middle School, Principal Dr. Dion Gary improved to an A grade this past school year. Osceola Middle School, Principal Renee Johnson improved to an A grade. Ocala Charter Middle, Principal Elias Post improved 2 letter grades to an A grade this school year. Ocala Springs Elementary, Principal Megan Parks improved to a B grade this school year. Shady Hill Elementary, Principal Dr. Anna Streeter McAllister improved to a B grade this school year. Liberty Middle School, Principal Bo Williams improved to a B grade this school year. Bellevue High School, Principal Heather Guest improved to a B grade this school year. Vanguard High School, Principal Colleen Wade improved to a B grade this school year. Ocala Charter High, Principal Elizabeth Brown improved to a C grade this school year. And our last school, charter school, McIntosh Elementary, Principal David Friedlander, they also improved 2 letter grades from an F to a C grade this past school year. So again, congratulations to all our principals. They represent all the hard work that their staff and students put in this school year, and we're so proud of them.
Thank you, Mr. Whitehouse. And we'd like to come down and grab a quick picture with you and celebrate a year's worth of hard work, working day in and day out to show student growth on your campuses. So we want to come celebrate with you.
How many more?
Oh, goodness. John here? I just just thought it'd be nice if all of them showed up.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the summertime.
How much speaking do we have?
Yes.
We don't have a very big agenda.
Middle school miracle.
Well, that was a fun and exciting list of recognitions. We don't get to do that very often. Okay, moving on to our donations. We have $1,000 to Denellen Elementary School from the Marion Soil and Water Conservation District Board to recognize Karen Bird for winning Environmental Educator of the Year. Funds will be used at the discretion to purchase items for her indoor-outdoor classroom and/or to attend educational training, conferences, webinars, or seminars to enhance teaching skills. Dr. Brewer, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I recommend approval of the agenda for the July 22nd, 2025 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting, with the exception of items D 17.1, D 17.2, D 17.3, D 17.4, D 17.5, D 17.6, D 17.7, D 17.8, and D 17.9 that have been placed under discussion regular agenda items.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
Recommendation for approval.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Martinez-Young, please provide the proof of publication for tonight's school board meeting.
The notice for the July 22nd, 2025 school board meeting ran in the Ocala Gazette on July 11th, 2025. The proof of publication has been attached in board docs under proof of publication.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 10th, 2025 school board meeting?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 16th, 2025 special school board meeting?
Motion to approve the June 16th minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 16th, 2025 special school board meeting, early reentry requests? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any
I'm
opposed?
sorry, there is discussion. It's actually, just for the record, the date was actually June 19th, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the agenda. The agenda item 7.3 says June 19th, but was it on June 16th? I'm just wanting to make sure we have it correct for the record.
16th.
June 19th, it was a Thursday, and it would have been a special board meeting.
Okay, I believe it's actually June 19th.
That's what it said.
I'm looking.
I know the script says the 16th, but again, just trying to get it.
I
right
have
for
the
record.
19th also. Okay, so making a correction. Do I need to do an amended motion, or I can just correct the motion? Attorney Powers?
You can just correct the motion.
Okay. Board, this is for June 19th, 2025, for the special school board meeting early reentry request. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Dr. Campbell and then
Second.
Reverend Cummins. Okay, thank you, Dr. Campbell, for catching that. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes other than the date? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Good evening, Attorney Powers. Can you please explain the rules governing persons who would wish to address the board?
Yes, ma'am. Madam, I'm sorry. Public speaker forms were due to the school board's clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers for tonight's meeting?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing none, then we will proceed to item 9.1.
Great. All right, moving on to informational items. The school district used a construction management delivery method, including a guaranteed maximum price to perform construction work on this project in order to allow the district to purchase materials through the owner direct purchase process to save sales tax. The construction manager needs to return the funds to the owner via the deductive change order. This purchase will allow the district to save approximately $653,115 in sales tax. The superintendent or designee has signed and approved the change order. Per Board Policy 6345, the superintendent or designee is authorized to approve and execute any construction contract change order that will be binding upon the executive by the superintendent or designee. The superintendent or designees shall report each change order she approves to the board at the board meeting that follows her approval. The superintendent or designee approval the superintendent or designee. Approval of the change order shall be entered into the official minutes of the board meeting. Item 9.1, compensation amendment number 3 to the construction manager contract, guaranteed maximum price for buildings 1 through 4, interior finishes, buildings 6 through 10, and courtyards related to construction of new high school CCC. Change order number 4, amendment number 3, project 24-105. Item 9.2, guaranteed maximum price for Osceola Middle School, building improvement building 1, change order number 2, work authorization number 10, project 25-115. Board, this concludes the informational items for today's meeting. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C11.1 through C16.3, with the exception of items D17.1, D17.2, D17.3, D17.4, D17.5, D17.6, D17.7, D17.8, and D17.9 that have been placed under discussion regular agenda items. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to discussion, regular agenda items. May I have a motion to approve the special data share agreement with Renaissance Learning Incorporated?
So move.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Thank you, Board Member Thrower. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item?
Yes, ma'am. We have Mrs. Deborah Riedel. She's the Director of Elementary Curriculum. She will provide brief remarks on the Renaissance Agreement.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, Chair Conrad and board members. This agreement with Renaissance Learning will allow us to purchase the STAR Reading Assessment as well as STAR CBM or curriculum-based measures. The results of the STAR Reading Assessment help teachers understand a student's readiness for reading and identify students who may need additional support. STAR curriculum-based measures will allow us to progress monitor students throughout the year, allowing teachers to provide targeted instruction based on learner-specific needs. Our purchases total $124,948.35, leaving $325,051.65 for schools wishing to purchase resources such as Accelerated Reader, Nearpod, or Flocabulary. As you know, Accelerated Reader is a program that motivates students to read, take engaging quizzes, and improve their literacy skills. Nearpod is an interactive platform that allows teachers to create lessons using interactive slides, videos, and activities. Flocabulary is a digital program that offers students an opportunity for multiple exposures to academic and subject-specific vocabulary through interactive games and quizzes.
Thank you, Ms. Riedel. Board, any comments or questions, concerns? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Riedel. That was fairly easy. May I have a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Cardinal Language Services, LLC?
So move.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item?
Yes, ma'am. We have Mrs. Williams-Jones with us this evening. She's the Director of our ESE department, exceptional student education, and she will provide brief remarks on the next 4 items. And we understand that you need to vote individually on them, but she will provide remarks at one time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Interim Superintendent Dr. Brewer, Chair Conrad, and board members. Tonight, there are 4 independent contracts for review. There is an interpreter contract with Cardinal Language Services, an interpreter contract with Hernandez Interpreting, LLC, an interpreter contract with New Day Language Services, LLC, and a speech-language therapy contract with Invo Healthcare Associates. The total cost of these 4 contracts is $288,699.75.
Thank you very much. Board, any questions, concerns, or comments on this item? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Invo Healthcare Associates, LLC? May I have a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings.
Second.
Who was that? Okay, sorry, I couldn't tell. Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Hernandez Interpreting, LLC? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with New Day Language Services, LLC? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Second
Second.
by Dr. James. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. May I have a motion to utilize Omnia Partners Contract RFP 25-01, award of contract R250101 for athletic physical education supplies and team uniforms? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this item.
Yes, ma'am. We have Mr. Donnie Tucker is here this evening to share information about this item.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, board chair, board members. The reason for this item here is because, we currently purchase things through athletics. The warehouse purchase things off the Omnia contract, and currently that amount is $175,000 that we have to spend from year to year. We're asking for an increase. The dollar amount total now would be $1,051,000. And this is due to the facility improvements that we're about to do, that were approved earlier in the year based on the presentation that we did back in, I believe it was March. And so this is to purchase things like bleachers for our baseball and softball fields, scoreboards, things of that nature. So that's the reason for this item.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Board, any comments or concerns on this item? No, I see smiling faces, Mr. Tucker.
I do
Concerns.
want to thank the taxpayers
Positive
for this
comments. Ms. Thrower,
opportunity.
did you have something you wanted to share?
What Mr. Tucker was about to say. Go ahead, Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, I do want to thank the taxpayers of Marion County because, and the voters for approving this half-cent sales tax, because this is where the funding for this current project comes from.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Tucker. May I have a motion to renew bid 4009 GM Carpet and Vinyl Flooring Supply and Installation? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Ms. Thrower.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Dr. Brewer, you have some information for us
Yes.
on this item.
She's already at the podium.
you're so fast,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Usher is here. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, Chair Conrad, board members. This item is for $1.2 million to purchase flooring for the various buildings throughout the district. It also includes the flooring for Denellen High School, which is estimated at $800,000. And the contract is for 1 year until July 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Usher. Board, any questions, concerns?
Yeah, so are we replacing all of the floor at Denellen High School?
According to our maintenance director, yes, it includes the vinyl and the carpet.
Okay.
So we're replacing all.
So I'm pausing because the board has had at length discussion about what we're doing with the sales tax dollars and the Denellen community, and I don't think we came to a conclusion on what we're doing. We kind of left the discussion as that was not something for the next few years, but we needed to have greater discussion in the community about what this looks like. Understanding regardless, I think collectively we all came to a pretty solid agreement that we have to do something at Denellen High School. But my understanding is the structure at Denellen High School is less than ideal. So the something would probably require significant improvements to the facility, which would not salvage the floor. So my pause is coming from spending $800,000 on floor at a facility that we may very well be doing something with.
Thank you, Dr. James. We thought about that before putting Denellen High School on. We have all the schools prioritized, and Denellen is the next one. If we do anything at Denellen High, we have to get money first to do Bellevue, which will take 2 or 3 years. And to get the amount of money, the $150 million to do Denellen High, it will be at least 4 or 5 years. And it's really needed to be done right now for the $800,000. So, but if it's something you all are directing, the board directs me to put that money somewhere else, I'll be happy to do that. But right now, next high school in line is Denellen High School to be done. And if we do anything at Denellen High, it won't be until for some time before we do that. Do we want it to remain the way it is for the next 5, 6 years? It depends on the board.
And I would argue our way of work is that everything takes 4 or 5 years. We've been talking about Bellevue Santos not having a playground for 5 years. So, I mean, this way of work takes years, but making $1 million investment into a facility that we're going to probably demolish seems...
But we don't know at this.
Well, we don't know. You're totally right. The
We'll
board has not
demolish
had a
it. We have been
discussion.
having those meetings and the assessment on maintenance and infrastructure, and you asked that we bring that back to you, and we have been working on that with Denellen Middle and Denellen High, and I don't know at this point what you all will decide. But if for some reason you think $800,000 is throwing it away at this time because we don't know what we'll do with Denellen High, we have a whole list of prioritized flooring that we can put it to. We have a number of schools waiting for that money, but based on our prioritization, that was the next high school.
I understand that, and I guess just to summarize my thoughts, I'm not an advocate for spending money in a place that we know we're going to have to do something with. And we've had very adamant conversations that whether it's Denellen Middle High, just Denellen High, whatever, that facility needs significant work. And so to put that much money into a facility that we may very well have to essentially pull it up seems very fiscally irresponsible in my opinion. And I would rather prioritize spending that money on flooring at other schools that are going to be long-standing far after 4 or 5 years from now.
If that is the board directive, we will not do it, but we were thinking about doing a feasibility study for those 2 schools and talking to the maintenance. Certainly, Denellen Middle will need to be redone, but we're thinking with Denellen High, we don't know if it will just be an envelope improvement, just making sure the walls are all sorted up and doing a feasibility study there to see if it will cost more to fix that school up or to build it new. But that is something I will bring back to you to decide what we will do with that school. But Dr. James, certainly we have a lot of schools to use this money. We put this $1.2 million in every year, and we used it throughout the year.
I just think having that information about a feasibility study and what this looks like is probably important before we make an $800,000 decision. And that's just my 2 cents on it. So it's a no for me because we need to understand the impact it's going to have in the community and what it's going to look like in the coming years, because it's a significant investment that could be spent on a variety. I mean, we are really trying to maximize our dollars right now, and so we could spend that money in other places where they're going to have more longevity.
Is that the board directive? Then I'll tell my
the
maintenance
rest of them.
director not to do that.
Yes, Ms. Thrower was next.
Okay. I completely hear and respect Dr. James' thought processes here, and I tend to agree with them. However, understanding the timelines and what you've said to us, Ms. Usher, as far as, I mean, we're talking at least 5 to 7 years before we do anything with that property, and we don't fully know what anything will be. I just pulled our daily attendance report that shows the fish average, and actually I hadn't looked at it from this perspective. Dunellen High is actually our largest overage of any of our schools. They have more, they're at 140% capacity, which is the largest. So to realize that they have way more traffic, foot traffic on the flooring as is than any of our other schools in the capacity that they're in, and knowing that Dunellen is in need of this, I don't know that I could feasibly say, you're not allowed to get new flooring for the next 7 years until we come up with another plan. I respect the chart that we've seen and who's on the timeline and who needs it when. I also respect the fact that this school is significantly overcrowded. Now, our new high school may impact that and will help that, but that foot traffic that's been on it is that 140% capacity. And so I could see why that would have significant wear and tear and have a need for the flooring now. I would love to hear from other board members and their perspectives.
Board Member Thrower.
Thank you. I'm thinking that this project landed high on the list for a reason. It may be many reasons. So what was the rationale for prioritizing Dunellen High School to replace this flooring?
I do have a list from a maintenance director, and several high schools have been redone. So this is where he would go in every year and update them. So this was next in line. So based on his criteria, age, use, condition, he has done several other high schools. This isn't the first one. This is the first time we're calling out the high school because I'm trying to give more information. Usually we just say for the schools and then he goes to his list. So he has done several high schools already. We don't have that many, but this one was next in line.
Thank you. And I heard you say age, use, and condition.
Condition.
Yes. And my hesitation would only be if we're going to replace the flooring, what is it that is making it dangerous now? Is it just, or not dangerous, that's too harsh of a word, making it more in need? Is it just because it's worn, or are we talking about trip hazards? We talking about mildew, mold? You know, we live in a terrarium called Florida, but I would just want to make sure that if there's any leakages, that would be mitigated before laying.
I agree, and definitely we would do the leakage first because that is a health issue. But in this case, it's more of a tripping hazard, the continuous maintenance, the aesthetics of it, and just how it looks, the wear and tear of it. So it's not any mold issue with it.
Okay. Right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Reverend Cummings.
While While I do hear what Dr. James is saying, I disagree completely because we don't know when Dunellen High School is going to ever get any construction out there, period. It could, we said 3-5 years, it could be 10 years. It's been on the list for a long time. So to not do this would be wrong because we keep putting different things off with the anticipation that there's going to be the finances, there's going to be the opportunity to do this in the future. I don't see it happening in the near future with a new school out there. And there is an aesthetics component to this. There is a safety component to this. There is a component to this where the community feels like we've left them out several times on different things. So I'm ready to move forward on getting this floor done at this school because those kids, you're talking about 5 groups of kids that are going to come through, 5 grades going to come through possibly, and they still have a raggedy floor. No, we can't do that. We need to go ahead and get that taken care of. So.
All right. Thank you. I think these are just hard conversations to have. As we move forward, we don't have enough money to make all the repairs that need to be made. I know I came to Ms. Rusher recently. The flooring in many of our schools is just so poor. And being in the classroom through COVID did not do us any favors. You know, the children eating every day, breakfast and lunch on top of those carpets in the classroom. It's just a challenge that we face. But Ms. Usher, I ask you to bring recommendations forward, what you think as you look at the whole district, what is needed most. And so I trust your recommendation, and I'll be voting yes to move this forward. Any other comments? Yes, Ms. Thrower.
Just say my concern was just making sure that whatever could be mitigated, would be mitigated, and you provided that assurance, and that was what I expected to hear, because you are a professional, and we count on you. There's so much need everywhere. When I had my tour of Osceola Middle School, honestly, I was shocked at, how bad the carpet was, what was left of it. So we're doing the best we can and making sure the ones that need it the most get it. So it sounds to me like it's Denellen's turn. So somewhat reluctantly, I'm going to vote yes. I'm reluctant because I just wish that every school could get everything it needed a whole heck of a lot sooner. So that concludes my comments. Thank you.
I agree. Thank you. Board, anything further? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brewer and Attorney Powers for the update on this central warehouse property.
Thank you, Board. As you know, I did email each of you regarding the fact that the sale of central warehouse property did not proceed to closing on July 11th, and that necessitates a discussion with the board as to next steps. I do have Attorney McGraw here, who has been doing quite a bit of work to assess the situation and determine what our next potential steps are and offer some potential solutions to the board for your consideration this evening. Ultimately, the board will be in the position to make a decision whether to proceed forward with closing or to relist the property or to retain the property. But I believe that Mr. McGraw and Ms. Scales will be able to provide you with quite a bit of additional information that will help make that decision a little easier for you.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Good evening.
Ms. Conrad, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here with us this evening. It's been a long process.
It has. As you're aware, we were set to close on this on June 30th. Prior to that June 30th date, the buyer came to us and stated that they would be unwilling to make that date as they had failed to get a survey. They requested an extension of July 11th, which the board generously granted them. They failed again to meet that date. They then requested that they could get the survey and the money over to us no later than today. I am happy to report that the money is in our escrow account as of yesterday, and they have signed the closing documents, and they are completely ready, willing, and able to close on the warehouse property right now. If the school board decides to move forward, then that's fantastic. They'll receive the $2 million minus their broker fee and any closing costs. If you decide not to move forward with the sale, I want you to understand that the $100,000 deposit, 50% of that will go to the brokers under their broker agreement. So I just want you to be aware of that contingency if you vote not to move forward with the sale, because technically, as of right now, the buyers are out of contract.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. McGraw, do you have anything else you want to add?
One of the other things that I would add is that on the escrow deposit, in order to release the escrow deposit, we would need an agreement of the parties or a court order. And so that would be another hiccup in how that gets distributed or when it gets distributed. Me and Alex feel strongly that it's the school board's money, and it would not go anywhere else except the school board in the event the school board decides to not move forward with the contract and the closing, and we send back the net amount less the $100,000 to be held. But I did want you to know that it would take some additional legal legwork to get that deposit into your hands.
All right, thank you very much. Board, I'll open up to see how everybody feels, where you stand. Yes, Mr. Orr.
Also, I want to encourage, if any board member has additional questions, I know that Ms. Scales and Mr. McGraw and I have batted around a bunch of questions amongst ourselves over the last week or two. So any additional questions, please feel free to ask, and he'll be able to answer them to the best of his ability, given the circumstances.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Mr. Orr.
Thank you, and you spoke of the Brokers Commission and that along with the closing costs. What would be our net proceeds that we'll get out of this sale?
The net coming to the board would be $1,910,580.
Thank you.
Mr. Orr, was that your only question?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I think we should close. That's my recommendation. I think we're in a position where we will not find ourselves getting $1.9 million out the door for this property in any other situation. This timeline has been less than ideal. I think that government makes things really hard. That's like, everyone knows that about government. And in the private sector, this is how this deal would have gone from a commercial real estate standpoint. The ball goes back and forth. It takes longer than it's supposed to. And as long as you get it across the finish line and everybody walks away happy, that's the end goal. And so this has looked unique because we are a governing body. But I think in the scope of traditional commercial real estate, this is pretty standard. And I feel very adamant that walking away with $1.9+ million in cash is the best possible scenario for the school board. And as I've said before, I feel strongly that this needs to be earmarked for the data center so that we can then offline another property. So that is how I feel about this, and I just pray that 2 board members agree with me so that we can get this across the finish line.
Thank you, Dr. James. Dr. Campbell, you want to weigh in?
I believe I'm going to agree with Dr. James on this one, and my reasoning is because we already have cash in hand, essentially. If we were still waiting,
Agreed.
And the check could bounce, we don't have that uncertainty. This has certainly not gone in the way that any one of us anticipated it would go, and I am never in favor of extension after extension after extension, because once you have your word, you have your word. But again, cash in hand is a motivation that I wasn't anticipating this evening, and so I'll vote in favor.
Thank you. Reverend Cummings.
While I'm very transparent, well, I'm not pleased with this process at all. I'm not, I don't feel it at all. I don't like how they asked for extension after extension, but the ultimate goal was to sell the property. I just think in the future, this process has to be reviewed and done a little bit differently, and this board has to take in consideration how we're doing business as a government entity. Yes, in the public sector, yeah, you expect all that back and forth, but we're not the public sector. So we need to make sure that we're handling this a little bit differently in the future. But I will vote yes on it.
Okay. Yes, sorry.
Thank you. My follow-up comment is we, being a government entity, still managed to have our meetings when we said we were going to have them, make decisions on the dates that we said we were going to do it, and followed through on everything that we were asked to do. Thank you for your expertise and your wherewithal. Same Attorney Powers. That's the level of quality of business that I expect from myself as a board member and in my own private business. So I agree 100% on closing this deal finally. But no, there's not a free pass, because this is how it happens in commercial real estate. To me, it was just, I was embarrassed for them a couple of times. I'll just say that. So I'm ready to vote.
Very well said, Ms. Sower. Attorney Powers, we need a vote on this. or consensus?
Yes, there would need to be a motion, essentially based on what the board's expressed. The motion would be to proceed to closing on the sale of Central Warehouse property. I believe that Mr. McGraw has indicated they've already signed the closing documents in anticipation that we may say yes, and if so, then Ms. Conrad, provided she's willing, would be able to sign the documents tonight. Is that correct? That's correct. And then we would be closed essentially as of close of this meeting.
So let me ask a question. There's nothing else after she signs tonight?
No.
Okay. Listen, I'm not dummy. I want clarity. I want this stuff out there because y'all saying no like it's, but we.
No, I direct that question to Mr. McGraw. There's nothing, once we sign those closing documents, there is no remaining other than release of the escrow, you releasing the escrow to the board, correct?
That's correct. So we have an agreement, there's an escrow agreement, and we worked extremely hard with the other side to get this to the finish line of where it's at today, and I am very grateful to the other side that they have done what they said they were going to do finally. I, as well, am not pleased with how they handled it along the way, but we're here. To answer that question, we would sign today and it would be closed. I just checked my email to make sure there were no type of revocations in my email or anything like that. We are good to go. They've signed their documents. We are going to sign ours today with your board approval, and then we will be dispersing the funds to you first thing tomorrow.
And Mr. McGraw, the documents to be signed, did you make a change to the One Remington Florida or One Remington Ocala LLC?
It is. So the buyer did request that it be changed to One Remington Ocala Roman numeral 2 LLC.
And that's
Special purpose entity, and had no objection to it. All items remain the same, and so they did complete an assignment.
And other than that particular change, no other items altered in the agreement from before?
That's correct.
Okay, sounds like we're ready to go. May I have a motion to proceed with the closing of the warehouse property?
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you, Dr. James, and a second by Ms. Thrower. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Mr. McGraw and Ms. Gales, I just miss seeing you. We've been able to see you so frequently on this process, so thank you again for being here this evening.
Chairperson Conrad, do you want to sign now, or do you want to wait till the end of the meeting?
We're almost to the end of our meeting. Would you mind holding on just a few minutes and we'll finish up?
That'd be great.
All right, thank you so much.
And I would just like to take a moment to thank outside counsel, both Ms. Scales and Mr. McGraw. We've had a long process here. You've done a lot of work, and we've been very appreciative for what you've put in. And I thank you very much for your time and for your expertise.
And I wanted to add flexibility. Alex,
Absolutely.
you were very flexible in getting together, and the 4 amendments that we had to get together and work on. Thank you for being so flexible.
Yeah, the last 3 beard hairs I had that weren't gray went gray in this process. So, you definitely, I appreciate all your work.
Okay, Board, may I have a motion to approve the scheduling of a public hearing on August 26, 2025 for the 2025-2026 Student Code of Conduct? May I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Second? Anyone?
We have to do it.
We have to do it. Second.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Dr. Brewer, you have some information on this regarding the ID?
Yes, I've asked for this item to be put under discussion because we know, and Dr. Curley is here, he's going to provide a few remarks on this topic, but we do realize this was, as I shared in our work session previously last week, but this was an error on our staff's part, and that's the reason that we had to add it to this agenda to schedule the public hearing. But Dr. Curley is at the podium now. Thank you, Dr. Curley.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer, Board Chair Conrad, board members. Just as she laid out, it was an error on our part, but we are finally across the finish line, and we just need to get to that public hearing on the 26th. We have communicated this very clearly to all principals, so they are very aware of how we are handling it going forward, and with technology for the acknowledgments that we discussed before. So if you have any questions, and I can provide any clarity on it from this point forward.
Thank you, Mr. Curley. Board, any questions or comments, concerns you'd like to ask at this time? Dr. Campbell?
I have a question. It's more or less a comment. Understandably, this is not at all where we want to be, and I know that you know that. You're taking the brunt of this and have just taken on this role recently. So we're in an unfortunate situation. I made the motion because it has to happen. Like, we have to have this, and it has to go through rulemaking. It's policy. We don't have a choice in the matter. So that's why I made the motion and why we have to vote on this tonight. We really don't have a choice. Though if I could vote against it, I would, because I'm so disappointed in how this has all played out. I heard the AP meeting and the principal meeting and where some of this was being rolled out, so I understand the work that you all are doing to let them know what we have will be the 25-26 Code of Student Conduct. But we also understand any incidents that happen in the first couple of weeks of school are still kind of in that gray area, and I'm hoping we get those resolved. And maybe all of our kids will just be terrific. Students, at the sound of my voice, please don't do anything that would violate the Code of Student Conduct in the first 2 weeks, and we won't have any issues. But that's where I am, board. I am not pleased at all with how we got here, but this isn't a choice. We kind of have to do this.
Anything else?
Ditto.
Okay. All right. Seeing nothing further, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Curley.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to board committee reports and concerns. On Tuesday, July 29th, there's a public hearing for the tentative budget scheduled for 5:30 p.m. There is a special school board meeting scheduled for August 7th at 7 a.m. An administrative briefing and work session is scheduled for August 7th at 9 a.m. The first day of school is Monday, August 11th, 2025, coming up quick, and I believe Waimea Park started today. So they had a great kickoff yesterday. The next school board meeting is scheduled for August 12th at 5:30 p.m., and there's a special administrative briefing and work session scheduled for August 14th at 9 a.m. Do we have any comments? Ms. Martinez-Young.
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Attorney Powers.
I have none. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dr. Brewer.
Yes, I have a few things to share. As you already stated, Waimea Park elementary students started today. They do have a staggered start, so students began today to Wednesday and Thursday of this week. But yesterday, a few of the board members were able to join me there for the Back to School Bash, and Ms. Hunt and her team did a wonderful job celebrating the families and the students, and it was so exciting to see the students find their names on the rosters and go to their classrooms. So it is an exciting start for them. I want to also provide some locations for the Community Give Back event that's taking place this Saturday. So families, if you have not registered for the event, please do so. There are still some spots available, but there are multiple locations. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share those with everyone. They will start with the main location, which is at the College of Central Florida, the Heart of Florida Health Center, Bellevue High School, Lakeware High School, Liberty Middle School, Dunellen Middle School, Friends Recycling Center, and those are the locations. So make sure families, if you haven't registered, please do so. I have 3 other announcements to make. The second naming survey for the new high school CCC went live today and will expire on August the 4th. So please take a look at the survey and make your selection. We have a Great Beginnings event for our new teachers on July 29th and 30th, and that's a great way for our new teachers to hear from our central office staff and receive all of the curriculum resources that they will need for the school year. And this morning, thank you to Dr. Campbell and Mrs. Conrad for joining me at the CEP Bellevue on the Rise. It was a nice event, and I appreciated their invitation, and I was happy to be able to provide information about our schools for the 25-26 school year. So those are my comments for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Dr. Campbell.
Thank you. I have just a couple of comments as well. First off, Ms. Boston Ellis, you're going to have $1.9 million to add to that capital revenue for our tentative budget that we received just a few hours ago. So I'm excited for that. That'll help us a little bit, and we'll see where we can move some funds around for other projects. But I, too, agree that earmarking that for the data center is what this board member would recommend, and we've already heard another board member say that as well. If we get consensus on that, then maybe that'll help us move forward with that project. As Dr. Brewer already said, today is the first day of school in District 1. I was grateful to attend yesterday's Waimea Park Back to School Bash. It was terrific. Thank you to those community partners that were there, the free haircuts that were happening, backpacks, the photo booth that their staff set up was so fun and great. I shared it out on X today. Kids were excited, parents were excited. It was just a really great time. But also knowing that today was the first day of school in District 1 anyway, and in tandem with the conversation we had in Thursday's work session, it led me to consider the following ask. I've already shared this with Dr. Brewer, but if the board agrees, I think this might be some data that we could collect from the first day of school for all of our schools, and we probably can, since it's a stagger start on kindergarten, I think this will be relatively easy. Ask for tracking numbers on kindergartners on their first days to see how many kindergartners arrive to us who don't know their names, who don't know where they are or why they're there, and who aren't toilet trained. And there may be other questions that board members want to add to that, but I think that would be helpful data for us to track on this year's kindergarten class, because our community obviously continues to support the work we do in amazing ways with the referendum and the sales tax and all these amazing community partners. But sometimes I think it would be helpful for them to truly understand how amazing the work is that we do. And so once we have that data, depending on what it says, we could then see how much of a community conversation we might need to have about really what the kindergarten readiness looks like in some of our schools, in some of the areas of our community, or even just in all of our schools. So if you agree with that, feel free to mention it in your board comments. And if you had another data point that you think that we could add, but I just think those three things specifically would tell a really big picture of that. We've already mentioned the Bellevue on the Rise today with the Bellevue High State of the Schools. A part of that, well, State of the Schools at Bellevue High. Dr. Brewer rolled out the prospective plan for the new Bellevue Elementary. That would start after the move of the Lake Weir Middle School students into new middle school DD. So we're talking several years down the line, 2027-ish. Where we might be able to start working on that Bellevue Elementary project. But it did also heighten, as we were just having conversation about the Dunellen High School flooring, we have purposefully delayed several capital projects at Lake Weir Middle School, understanding that Lake Weir Middle School would be getting a replacement. So I know the plan is to move more than 600 littles to that campus while we're building the new Bellevue Elementary on their campus, but I'm super interested in understanding that plan and how that will work. So I know there's more to come on that. We're really in the preliminary stages, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that Lake Weir Middle campus. And when we're putting littles, there are things on that campus that might have to be retrofit just for littles. So I'm interested in knowing how much money we need to invest there. I see Ms. Usher shaking her head. So I know, again, that's more to come, but the conversation we just had about Dunellen High School has heightened that in my mind today. Also, just wanted to do another quick reminder that we'll be talking on August 7th about our legislative priorities. So please come with thoughts for what that's going to look like and how we can narrow down exactly what our 5 to 6 top priorities are, and we can come to consensus on those because we need to on that date. Also, confirmation that Representative Judson Sapp will be attending the first day of school at Fort McCoy. Principal Sales is asking for an arrival time of 7 a.m. and I want to be sure that we do have representation with him, either from, I know Principal Sales and her team will be there, but either from the district or one of us, so we can talk about that and maybe even on the August 7th meeting. But please check your calendars and see if any one of us or Dr. Brewer, if you can check with your team who could be there with him, because I want to make sure that we have representation there and it's someone from the district or one of us. And just finally, the last two reminders that I will not physically be present during next week's special school board meeting, which is the public hearing for the budget on July 29th. If I'm needed telephonically, I certainly can participate that way. I want to make sure that there are at least 3 of you here, so please let me know if you're not going to be. I need to make some specific arrangements about that. And finally, I had already indicated that I will not be physically present for the September 9th school board meeting either, which ironically is also the second budget public hearing. But I will do my best to participate telephonically that day if needed, but I will physically be in Washington, D.C. And I know I mentioned in the work session that I will be participating in COSPA Federal Advocacy, but I realize people might not have any idea what that is. So COSPA was founded in 2022, and it is the Consortium of State School Boards Association, or COSPA, and it is a nonprofit, nonpartisan, not nonprofit, nonpartisan national alliance made up of 25 state associations. Most of those predominantly are in the South, but there was a breakaway from the National School Boards Association in 2022 for many, many reasons, but 25 state school boards associations chose at that time to break away and create the Consortium of State School Boards Associations, which is COSPA, and that federal advocacy conference will be happening in Washington, D.C. in September. So that's where I will be, representing not only Marion County, but also the state of Florida with our federal delegates in D.C. at that conference. And as you all know, as I was just speaking with Ms. Martinez-Young, because of my role as the president-elect within the Florida School Boards Association, any of my travel, professional development conferences that I am doing on behalf of the Florida School Boards Association is at no cost to Marion County Public Schools. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Ms. Thrower.
Thank you. I'm going to be very brief because I know we are waiting on our guests and Chair to sign paperwork. So I don't want to create any more delays, but that was really great information. Thank you, Board Member Campbell, for sharing that, especially about the federal advocacy. That couldn't be better timed. It's definitely been a struggle with the budget. There's just been so many uncertainties. The budget is always a struggle, except for some windfall years that we've had very off and on. ARA comes to mind many years ago during the Great Recession, and then getting the COVID, recovery dollars. Obviously, that was a huge infusion, but like any other dollar, it eventually gets spent. Hopefully, we see a return, and I'm looking forward to seeing the playing field begin to level out a little bit, so that we can become more certain of whatever we're getting. If it's going to be a whole lot less, so be it. But just let us know so that we can plan as best we can on behalf of our kids, our families, and our community. You raised an interesting point about kindergarten readiness. It certainly is on our radar. And I'm definitely willing to continue to mull over what you said. I think that data is really important, especially with our youngest learners. I would like to get some information on how many of our kindergartners actually showed up the first day of school. I'd like to get some information on overall, how many students registered the day school started, or maybe through the week. Because missing the first day of school, there's been times where I've advocated for some kids that probably deserve to miss the first day of school, but it just puts them further behind, and it's so important to start off the year right and set the tone. And our hardworking teachers, staff, everybody is doing all they can to be happily ready for the very first day of school. So information like that, Mr. Christian, he comes out with the what went right, and that's something that the community has come to look forward to. I know I do. But that's the kind of real in the trenches information that is going to help guide us in our advocacy as well. So thank you for bringing that up. The only other thing I'll bring up tonight is I continue to be so impressed by the progress of our schools in civics. I think we're above the state average. When I look at the turnout of voting in Marion County, I think maybe the adults could benefit from the curriculum that we're teaching. It's really, really important. Everyone has a lot of opinions right now, including myself, about what should be happening in Marion County. But if you don't use the levers that we've been blessed with the freedom that we have to good use, then it's all just natter. So congratulations again to all of the schools that continue to make progress in if not in every area, then in so many areas. It doesn't go unnoticed. And the last thing is, I know I said that was the last thing, but I just had to comment on it. My very last thing is, I was glad that we did settle on a superintendent search firm. I think that to do our due diligence for the community, we needed to make that decision. We went with Hazard Young Atea and Associates, very well known for superintendent searches, K-12 consulting, K-12 jobs. You know, that's been who they are and what they do. So we will, as Dr. Brewer, as you said, you know, you welcome competition, and I just think that we're doing a great service to the community to be very open, transparent, and bring it. So I was glad to have that decision behind us. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thrower. Dr. James.
Thank you. Lots of good comments already tonight. I'll just touch on a few things. It's important to note the kindergarten readiness questions Dr. Campbell shared are not reflective on the FAST assessment at all. So in VPK, you give a FAST assessment for only early literacy, essentially, and it doesn't ask them any of those questions. So it kind of, and Chair Conrad will probably chuckle at this, but it's almost going back to flickers, right? So when we used to do flickers, those kinds of skills were a little bit more reflective in the flickers assessment. And so it was obviously incredibly time consuming, but there were positives to it, and it helped capture other information. I'm not in complete disagreement with doing some kind of informal assessment. I think kinder teachers have a lot on their plate the first few weeks of school, and so capturing that data is going to be a lot. But I do think that there is an understanding, an underwhelming understanding of just how unprepared children are to enter kindergarten. They are so unprepared, and not because they haven't been in daycare or preschool, but because at home their parents are not empowering them to do things. I can't tell you how many children I come across who are 4 and 5 years old and can't get dressed independently. They can't button their pants. They can't zip up their pants. They can't pull up their pants. And it's not because they lack skill, but because they've lacked opportunity to practice. So an entire community effort to talk about what it looks like to prepare your 5-year-old to enter school is more than welcomed by me, for sure. I was just hopeful that we could potentially get and maybe it's coming, we historically have gotten maybe like a quarterly update on facility projects. And I don't know how long it's been since we got a last one, but Ms. Usher's been with us for about 3 or 4 months now. And so I don't know if that was a former facility director's initiative, but I saw some pictures of high school CCC on social media, and so I would love if we could get some footage of what high school CCC is looking like and an update on that progress, and then in addition, maybe just a quick capture of, as we are less than 3 weeks away from the start of school, where we are with Osceola Middle School and the 2 elementary schools, and just ensuring that everything is buttoned up and we'll be ready to welcome teachers back in 7 or 8 days, and then students. So if we could possibly just get an email to kind of capture all of our projects that are moving that could impact student arrival, that would be wonderful. I am very grateful that we were able to come to a conclusion on the warehouse tonight. I feel very strongly, again, that we should focus on making sure that we're able to get this data center done, not only from an infrastructure standpoint, do we need to address it, but it also would allow us to theoretically create another revenue source by selling, if I dare say, another property. So I would welcome the opportunity for the board to have a discussion about that at some point so we can try and all get on the same page about that. Wyomina Park was wonderful yesterday, and today was their first day. I think it's amazing to see what a community can do when we all come together. Haircuts and pictures. And as I walked through Wyomina yesterday, I was reminded of a project that I had tried to start last year with Lake Weir High School's Construction Academy. And so I called Mr. Jacobs, and we reignited the flame. And so there was a flood in Wyomina Park's library a couple years back, and so those bookshelves are in pretty bad condition. So Ms. Hunt and I had a conversation about it last school year, and then it just never came to fruition. So we've now connected all the right people, so hopefully the Construction Academy can work on some bookshelves for Wyoming Park. That's what I love about this job, is just the ability to connect the right people and make awareness, because we have some really amazing things happening on our campus. And Mr. Jacobs, is like, yeah, we can do that. That sounds like a wonderful project for our students. And so that's just what I love about being able to visit schools, and we see things that not everyone else is able to see because we visit so many sites. So with that, I will close, and I look forward to our next opportunity to get together.
Thank you, Dr. James. Reverend Cummings.
Good evening. Just 3 brief comments. Number 1, the 29th, I will not be here, but I will appear telephonically for our meeting on the 29th. I know Dr. Campbell has already expressed that she wouldn't be here and may have to be here telephonically as well. I think we will have a quorum and still be able to continue the business that we need to take care of. I want to start by saying thank you to our community, to our county, the citizens, everyone, the businesses, because there are so many great events that are taking place around the county. Dr. Brewer, you mentioned some of them as far as back-to-school events. Some have already started, some this past weekend, and others that are going to continue to go forth. But it shows that we have a generous community that wants to make sure that these kids get to school with the things that they need to be successful. So I do want to thank our community for that. There's no, in my mind, there's not a reason for any kid not to show up on school day one with the supplies that they need, because they're out there. They're out there, and they just need to register or do what they need to do, get with whatever entity, any organization, churches, whatever, to get those things so that they can be successful for day one. And I want to thank one in particular, the Marion County Children's Alliance and Friends Recycling, Mr. Lorenko, because they have been doing this for a while, and they make sure that those that need to get it, and it's a community effort. So that goes back to that village mentality, that everybody's trying to make sure that these children have what they need to get, that they need to be successful day one, not 2 or 3 days down the road, not 2 or 3 weeks, but day one. And then my third and final comment is on this Thursday, another opportunity for our students in the city of Ocala. The city of Ocala is doing a City Path Training Academy. That's this Thursday, July 24th, from 9 to 1 at Lillian Bryant Community Center. This event is being sponsored by the city, and it's to help kids that may not want to go to college but looking for a 6-figure job. It's teaching them how to be linemen and the electrical things. So there's a flyer that's out there. I want to encourage those young people that are still kind of looking for different things that they may want to do outside of high school, that they may not want to go to college. They may want to go to a vocational. Well, the city is offering this training session, this introduction session for these kids who may be interested in that field. So I want to encourage them to attend. Again, go to the city website. There's a flyer out there. Go to my Facebook page. There's a flyer out there. And we just want to encourage them to partake of those things, those resources, those opportunities that are out there. That's a great field that a lot of people don't even look at because they're afraid of electricity. So why not learn it? And it's very lucrative. So very lucrative. So that concludes my comments. We are a few days away from school. Let's get ready.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. I'm going to start with the school readiness piece. I am very interested in that as I reflect when I was working with that age group. You couldn't start preschool, actually, not kindergarten, but you couldn't start preschool unless you were potty trained. And so thinking about, also, do we still do stagger start? So we have, this class comes in thirds. Collecting this type of data doesn't really have to be complicated. It really could be a check sheet, because the teacher at the end of the day can quickly mark, who, check off, who can go to the restroom, who can,
And they'll know.
right, oh, you'll know by lunchtime who can go to the bathroom. Anyway, I am interested in that conversation because developmentally, as we've moved the mark, what's expected of our children, especially in elementary school, some of these very basic skills we're not tracking. And I know I'm dating myself, but back in the day, that first kindergarten report card that I worked on, half of that was social skills, and balance and those physical components of managing their own body. So anyway, I think there's value in knowing that and continuing to share our story and the challenges, some of the challenges that we have in getting children prepared to come to school. Because I think it's a big part of the battle. They're behind from the beginning. So I'm fully in for working or helping, whatever, if you're interested in doing that. So just want to say, yes, I think there's value in that. I do want to say thank you to Dr. Brewer for her presentation at the Bellevue on the Rise this morning. I was actually at a meeting, and this came up in conversation. Dr. Brewer, you and your team jumped in very quickly to take on that presentation this morning. Didn't have a lot of time for preparation and gathering information, but you did a great job. It was so nice that so many of your team members were there, and I felt it was very well received by the community. They loved being able to just visit and ask questions at the end of the meeting. So I just, it's a tough time, back to school. There's so many things going on, but thank you to you and your team for getting out there and participating in that event. I just think it's so important for the visibility and the story of what's happening in Marion County Public Schools. So thank you for that. I did want to say, last Thursday, went down to see the Teacher of the Year presentation or program with the state, and we got to celebrate Sarah Jacobs. It was just a lovely event to celebrate educators across the state and things that they're doing. So I just wanted to give Sarah a shout out on that. And then finally, again, kind of going along with the rest of what my fellow board members have said, is the kickoff at Waimea Park was really amazing yesterday. The community partners that showed up, just like board members said, for haircuts, resources, all of the things, it was a really great site. Our students do have a lot of support. The community is in support of helping every student succeed in matching us with our mission. So I'm just really grateful for that. The staff put a lot of work in. Dr. Campbell mentioned the photo wall, which was really fantastic. I took a picture of it too, because somebody at Waimea Park Elementary put a lot of work into some really great first day of school pictures for their students. So just a lot to celebrate. Looking forward to kicking off the next school year. And board, that's all I have for this evening. Ms. Thrower, go ahead. I was going to say give me the finger, but that didn't sound right.
Because we were talking about the data center prioritization discussion, and I was just wondering if we could add that to the next work session and start getting that on the front burner.
Sure.
Will do.
Okay.
If everyone else
Yeah.
provides their consensus.
Agreed.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew I do too. Okay,
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Ms. Escher's working on
great.
priority was for us too, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Brewer.
I'm going to ask if Dr. Campbell can share the questions for the criteria for the kindergarten checklist, and so we can work to compile that to provide to the teachers. So thank you. And we'll add the data center to the next work session topics. Okay?
My first question would be, did they show up? The first day of school. Are they in attendance?
Yeah, like our,
What's
Right.
that?
They're supposed to show up.
Correct.
Correct. All right, board, there be no further business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
second.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you, Reverend Cummings. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. This meeting is adjourned at 6:53. Thank you very much, board.
I
I forgot to share some.